It's the E Square Podcast.
From the hand up to the arm, with the backside, everything.
Man, yo,
Yeah.
that it's so crazy to me because you have one of the hottest brands. I think newer brand. Is it a new? Would you consider it a new brand? I know you've been doing it for a minute, but
I mean, honestly, it's been like a year or so running. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's
so-
more so like it's a newer project for me, but
what's going
it's
crazy?
not my first project. So
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like you've been able to take it to some places that most what I'm saying, you're doing your thing with it. But I think that to me the dopest part of it is that it's a pattern.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
not like just a word, some random word, and people try to make it a brand out of some random word. You created a whole pattern, and then you tatted your whole body on that pattern.
Is that wild?
Yo, that's dope. No, that's like that's full commitment, bro. I respect it.
I feel it. I feel it. Thank you. No, it was a little too much anime and Halloween. A little too much anime.
What do you
and
mean?
Halloween. I would I don't know, man. I think I was just caved up for a while, lit in bed. It might have been. I don't know. There's a couple times, honestly, I've been tested through life situations. I had a stroke not too far from here. Had a car accident, flipped three times. Been stuck in bed like long time, multiple times. And so each one of those times, honestly, was like a new time for me to really like get back to the basics, back to the art,
Like reset.
back to what I like. And so honestly, each one of those times just kind of like added more and more. And I don't know, they were like, man, they were big, like, okay, you got to get back to the fundamentals, you got to get back to the basics because you were moving at 100 miles per hour, now life is telling you to slow down.
Yeah.
And so, like you have those times and it's like, okay, the universe or God, whoever for you is telling you like, yo, you gotta slow down, you're moving a little too fast.
Yeah.
And
So you took those things as a sign.
oh yeah, I mean big time because you got to. If you don't, that's when you like really pushing it. You already getting lucky by being given those signs.
Right.
A lot of people are just like, yo, you were really meant to be here, just going and living through a stroke so young as it was.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
Crazy. Was in a business meeting right down the street at Fruition, old Fruition spot, and
Yeah.
we're in the meeting. We were working on the rollout of the first Yeezy shoe. So the first Yeezy, like 350 in the first Yeezy collection. And I was, like, Kanye was looking at the collection that we were styling for him and putting together, like, all the visuals. And he was looking at the content. So I was just trying to go hard, burn the candle at both ends, stressed.
Right.
How to get back to the drawing board. That knocked down project number one. Then from there, it was like, okay, now I know my time here might be limited. And that was actually the introduction of the Gucci Durag.
Okay.
So right after then, time where the earth, the universe, God was like, yo, sit your ass down. Let's get back to some fundamentals here. And really, like, it was like, yo, that was the time I was like, okay, I got to execute.
Yeah.
That first time was about executing.
So
So it was
you
about executing the ideas that you had, that you might be afraid to put out, that you were hesitant to put out. So the Gucci Durag was a fuck it idea and was something that I was a little bit hesitant to do at first, but pretty much when that time happened, I was like, yo, I might not be here anymore. I gotta go ahead and I gotta get to the notebook. I gotta get these ideas out. And it was one of those fun ideas, those, random smoking, kicking it with the homie ideas. And
That's the magic, right?
Right, and right. And because it was about having fun.
Right.
And so really it's probably the biggest thing I'm focusing on even right now.
Yeah.
So like the Gucci Durags were a nice little climax blip in the story, like just like a sneak peek at a time. Each project has its little wave. Will come like a wave, right?
Right.
And so before that, it was a project I was doing here called Luxois.
I remember that.
Then I was like, yo, sit down. Then it was like, okay, Gucci Durags. And it was like, all right, now you got moving off too fast. Now sit down.
Yeah.
Then it was, working on X and Tanshion and Ski Masters merch. And then it was like, yo, sit down.
So do you when
Then Durag Dev, and now it's another one like, yo, sit down. My bad to interrupt you.
No,
I'm
you're
just
good,
saying,
you're
like,
good.
it's always being put in a spot of like, yo, you might get here real quick and move in 100, but you got to forget like, yo, you got to slow down sometimes and get back to those basics. Like Jordan always. It was crazy. I finally just watched the documentary, the Jordan documentary.
Oh,
I didn't know I didn't know that he went back to college and like, sit down, go play back in college. I'm like, yo, he might have thought that was gonna be the peak of his career.
Right.
And so, now looking at those things like, yo, the Gucci Durag was big. It was on Travis Scott. It was known for one of the times like Travis wearing the album. That was one of the big things he was wearing. Paper Magazine. Pretty much every rapper, they're going on, they're buying it. I'm walking down Fairfax. People are yelling out, yo, that's Durag, X Tentation comes running up, hides behind me. Like it was just all too
craziness.
But it started moving 100 miles an hour again, and it's like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Gotta like.
So do you become obsessive when you think of a project and you have and you want to execute and you get into the production of it? Do you get obsessive about it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, this is stuff I'm like, real talk. I'm going to see a therapist now. I'm going to see.
Oh, really?
Because I mean, I know I have mental things. So I have OCD. I have obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
I have ADD. But I have those things where I'm a perfectionist and OCD. So like when I'm locked in on something, I'm locked in on it.
Yeah. But don't go to a therapist too much.
Oh no. No, honestly, it's just cause real talk, like life is just I hate if I'm sounding from like a negative tone. I guess I'm just more so keeping it a buck. Like it's a lot of great things. There's a lot of things.
No, that probably sounded bad, me saying that. But what I meant is that I think every genius is a little crazy in some form or fashion. Whatever you decide the definition of crazy is. But geniuses have that obsessive trait about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to accept that a little bit.
Embrace that,
right? A lot of it crazy. But finding out, looking at sitting back and looking at my dad, seeing how genius he was with like lights and car design and this and that, and then
what did he do?
He did a lot of stuff in like automotive. From detailing at first to like custom lights and
like restoration.
He would take a car and he would kind of like he would do like aftermarket design, and the factory would want to come, like GM would want to come and buy it back from him.
Oh.
And
so he was creative in his own right too.
He was creative in his own right too, and so, but just as much crazy, locked in on a project.
Yeah.
He's in the garage. He's stuck on
tunnel
it.
He's
vision. Working on it. Tunnel vision, right?
Yeah.
You move everything else to the side.
So you think you got that from him, huh?
A lot of crazy in the genes.
That's a beautiful thing, though, man, because you have to, in order for anybody to be great, you look at all the, talking about Michael Jordan, Kanye West, any of those people, bro. Right. The normal person would say they're fucking out of their mind.
Right.
And but those people that are quote unquote out of their mind are the ones that are talked about forever, remembered in history, but. So I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I don't, I don't.
I'm just keeping it a buck. I think, sometimes it just things can like I'm saying, just not for people not like not. I don't know why. I don't even know why at this point in time. This is my message per se that I'm trying to get out through these words. I guess subconsciously, but sometimes we get wrapped up in that project or wrapped up in moving at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Without sometimes having those times where we get back to the basics and work on those fundamentals.
Right.
And so,
that's what got you there in the first place.
Right, that's what got you there in the first place.
Right.
So if you don't have the thing that is going to keep you moving on continually, and you don't have that motivation and that vice, that thing, whatever, and it's taken away from you, how's your motivation going to be?
Mm-hmm.
How's your determination going to be?
Mm-hmm.
How's your inspiration going to be? How's your art going to be?
Right.
Because without knowing in the beginning why you loved this thing, why you loved making music, why you loved creating clothes, why you loved to model, why you loved to make videos, why you loved to make podcasts, why you loved to hoop, why you loved to cook, why you loved to do this, why you loved to do that, all these things that are creating. You got to like always get back to those things where it's like, yo, why do I love to do this? What do I love to do?
Right.
And make sure
that's the question you need to always have the answer to.
You always got to have an answer to, because if you get hit with one of those questions and you stutter and you hesitate, that's a no.
Yeah. You gotta think about it.
If you gotta think about it, it's
Ain't
a
it?
no,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're not even gonna ask Michael Jordan if he loves to play basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not
You,
you're not
yeah.
gonna ask
Yeah.
Kanye if you like it's just gonna be an automatic, yes. There's no
Yeah.
hezzy. There's no there's
Yeah.
no fake out. There's no hesitation. No pump fake. Nothing.
Yeah. What have you learned through all this? Cause I feel like the city has. Are you born here? Are you
Yeah.
from here?
Yeah.
The city has definitely seen you evolve. I could have sworn some years ago I saw you perform at Brooklyn Bowl. I mean not Brooklyn Bowl, Beauty Bar. I might be mistaken.
It might have
Did
been
you used to be
Brooklyn
an artist?
Bowl.
Were you an artist before?
Man, I just
Did you make music?
No,
You didn't?
no.
Did you perform
I
anywhere?
did perform though.
Okay, so
I've never made music, but I have performed many times.
Okay. So
I've never made music.
So I
but
might have seen you on stage. I think it was at Beauty
it was
Bar.
Brooklyn Bowl. I've done
Or
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Bowl.
Bowl,
I
okay.
sound like I've done Brooklyn Bowl. I've done
But he
House of
doesn't make
Blues.
music, yeah.
I've done House of Blues. I've done
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah, but I think you were the if I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, so
Oh,
maybe
so
my memory's fucked up. But you weren't who you are today
Oh no.
in any shape or fashion. So I feel like we've seen you evolve.
For sure.
And do you reflect on your evolution as well or no?
I do. I was just talking to someone recently because I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go and speak, and like, oh okay, well, what are you about to talk about? I was like, I don't know, but one of my things is going back and always I'll sit and I'll look at podcasts or interviews or whatever it is that I've done, video, recap videos of pop-up shops and events and stuff like that. And I'll go back to that footage and I'll be like, yo, okay, this is what I should have said. Let me take these words out. Let me add these words in. Let me shorten this part down. Let me add a little more quantity and quality to this part and talk about this part because this part is more important. I just pulled out my old clothing archives from 2012, and I'm calling them archives. It's really not that long ago, but it's still, like 2013, and I'm looking at different things, and it's always good to go back and reference what you are making, reference what you were drawing, reference what you were creating, reference what you were shooting, reference what you were styling. Luckily I got to like mess around for a while. Like so much of the homies did music. Like maybe looking back how I was looking, I'm thinking I can pinpoint for you right now what you're talking about specifically because I know the performance at Brooklyn Bowl, and I was wearing a maroon satin long trench coat.
Yes.
And my hair was straight and it sat to one side, and I had a gold grills in, and I had a distressed knitted long sleeve underneath, and I had some Saint Laurent pants on and some Rick Owens boots. And like
some might refer
some
to it
gold
as like a gothic look.
Very gothic, very punk.
Yeah.
But that's where I was at in what I was watching in anime at the time. It was very dark. The aesthetics that I was pulling from was what I was calling like Japanese retro galactic punk. And like that's what I was. That's what
crazy.
I was like.
So you were on anime before it became a thing. Before it became trendy.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but a nigga was in Japan for a year in 2011.
So what were you doing in Japan?
Right?
What were you doing in Japan?
Oh man, everything.
What brought you out there in the first place?
The culture, the.
So did you just take a trip out there and you fell in love with it? Or?
I did. I mean, I honestly, I finessed UNLV. So I went and this is the real. So back in 2011, I got like 25, 30,000, 40,000 from UNLV alone to go scholarships. They paid for just 3 months of school, but I got a year-long visa. Stayed out, did classes for the first 3 months, then traveled around Japan for the rest of the year. So I got out there.
King.
I'm not gonna lie. I got out there under the school and then used those scholarships, and it paid for everything. And
so why Japan though? Did you get to pick Japan?
Yeah, I mean that's just what I had always like. That's where I always wanted to go since I was like 5, 6 years old. So something that was I was actually just talking about this too. Something that was kind of crazy for me is, as a kid, I was able to recognize, okay, these cheaper, lower quality products come from China, and then like these more high quality, these like better, faster, stronger.
Shit,
These products come from Japan. These more
yeah,
high quality products. I was able to tell just I could just tell in
everything they do,
everything they
man.
do, right? And so like as a little kid somehow I was able to see like that okay, this is when it has a made in China sticker, it's here.
Yeah, yeah,
And if it's made in Japan, the quality level is here.
yeah.
And then but that probably goes in, deeper like some little kid shit.
What about
Dragon
them?
Ball,
What?
Dragon Ball Z.
Y-
They have all those like
Yeah.
Gundam, all those influences since we were little. Sony, PlayStation,
Mhm.
Those are all big things. Street Fighter.
Yeah, dude.
Like I had dinner with the founder of Capcom, well his son, because that dude's gone now, but
Yeah.
his son and like I mean I didn't even realize just how sublimated
Yeah.
their culture was into
American culture.
American culture through the video games, the
Mhm.
graphics, the movies,
Like you didn't realize how
the
much we were
anime,
being
the
influenced.
playing
Yeah.
cards, right? And just as much as we're influencing them or other
Yeah.
cultures at the same time, just as much as we're influential worldwide. Just
That's
being
what
crazy
Christian
influence.
Christian said. I had Christian FGY up here, and he said the same thing. He said, as far as cultures that influence the world, America's number one, but Japan's number two.
Oh, without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
What is it about them that makes them just so like top tier?
Um,
Because Tanes says the same thing. You know.
I mean, he knows. He knows. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've already at this point, and this is why I say like at this point, I realize like not in an old way. The it was just talking about this too. The homie literally just told me like, yo, your story's not over. Like if you're still writing, then your story's not over. So honestly, my career in creating is probably just beginning. But at the point where I'm at now, there is a difference in experience because I've traveled the world already, bought the designer already, bought the diamonds already, bought the car already. Bought
Yeah. Yeah.
like
And you're still young.
I've had the fun
Yeah.
like at a young age, and that's what I was saying. Sometimes you move 100 miles per hour real quick, and I
Yeah.
was young, traveling the world, going to Europe, going all over Asia, going all over, just traveling like, and but to get back where you're going, like in that, even though I went to up at Amsterdam over here and over Russia over here, Japan over here, like China over here, Korea, Singapore, like all these different places all over the U.S., all over the world, London, didn't matter where. Like I always would find myself after those trips going back to Japan. So after I left Europe, I would go like racing back to Japan. I'd be on
Like it was
United.
home.
I'd be on the United app. Yeah, like it was home.
Yeah.
And like I would feel a place, like a big piece of serenity just being back there. The second I landed, was almost as if I had taken a drug in a way. I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
I didn't need any vices. It just naturally like reset and refreshed my body.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if there's such thing as reincarnation, like past life definitely had to be in Japan
Yeah.
somewhere because it was just like too much of a feeling of like home.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go, man, because I just keep hearing about Japan, man.
right,
I just
right.
keep hearing about it.
Right,
man.
and then Tanes is a good advocate as well
Yeah,
for it.
for sure,
Yeah.
man. So, but the thing is that like this is the first time we've ever met, which is kind
Right.
of crazy to me because
Right.
I've been moving and grooving. I've been seeing you around,
Right.
But I love talking to people behind the scenes. People definitely know you, but you're not like a rapper or you know
Right.
what I'm saying, somebody like that. So
That's been my thing is like influencing the influencers. So the fact that I mean you can even know me well enough to hit me up and me not to be in the front like a rapper is something that's cool for me because that lets you know I'm doing my job in a way to be because I don't want to be famous like her. Honestly, I've seen that, been very close to it all. That's a little too much for me.
yeah, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
That's a little scary.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I don't want that life
Yeah.
forever. Like, I don't want that life for a week. That's too much. I'm already like, I'd be on tour, and I would go and get my own hotel room and run away from everyone mid tour.
Yeah.
I would leave I would be on tour, and I would leave. I'd pick like, all right, in 5 cities, I'm gonna just fly back to LA or Vegas or something, just because I need to go reset.
Why? What is it about that lifestyle that drives you crazy?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Like it's it's a constant energy output. People are constantly taking energy from you.
Okay.
So you're constantly in an energy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And then unless you keep yourself grounded, then you can't keep putting up with,
You depleted.
that
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
output without grounding yourself.
Mm.
So for me, grounding myself was, okay, let me pick every 5 to 8 cities I'm gonna go back and
Wow.
get reset.
Okay.
And now once I'm out of the way of tour, because I'm working on merch for that tour, the next tour, or the music that was being made on that tour. So I'm around, so I get to hear the music, so I can make sure that the sonics match the visuals.
Mm.
And so that's cool and all, we're there for that, but at the same time, it was actually Travis Scott's old stylist that taught me, like, yo, you don't always need to be on the tour to be working on things on the tour.
Mm.
And I was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And Kyle was like, yo, I did all the looks beforehand. We set up the mood boards and everything beforehand.
Mm.
We worked on these things and like went to the certain shows and same things and was here for certain moments.
But you weren't there every
realizing
step.
you don't need to be there to hip check the artist and try to get in every photo and video that the artist is gonna be on. Like you don't gotta jock them like and be on their hip like that, because if it comes natural, it's gonna come natural. All of the opportunities too that I've gotten, like, have always been from the most natural occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. I remember Revenge Tour Extentacion. I'm in Vegas. Ski's in Vegas. He has a show. Long story short, we ended up hanging out for 2 days. In that 2 days time span, I was the only person that didn't ask him for a photo or try to sneak a video in.
Yeah, that's pretty important not to do when you're dealing with famous people.
And so, but at the time, he only had maybe 300,000 followers.
Uh-huh. So he wasn't where he was going.
It wasn't 2 million, because honestly, even at 2 million, 3 million, you're still not internationally famous. You're really not internationally famous until 20 million, 50 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
So 300,000, you're on your way up as far as a rapper goes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're following. So you look at a rapper, 300,000, he's on his way up. But it was still at a time where it's right in the momentum. So that timing, we were just talking before we started this.
Yeah.
Being on the right time. And so because of me being on the right time, acting in the right way, he literally was like, yo, you were the only person that didn't ask for a photo. We're about to take a flick together. I'm about to clout you up. And that was the time when clout was a big word, big popping ass word. Yeah. Everyone wanted to say clout. We used to text in a group chat. We used to text a picture of a clout token. And at first, some people, I would send it to my friends here, and they'd be like, I can use this? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, nigga, that's just a photo. That's just a photo.
Yeah.
We used to send people pictures of a clout token, and some people really thought that they could use that, it was a form of currency or something. I'm like, bro, it's a joke.
The clout is such a reality what am I trying to say? It fucks up in reality, bro.
Reality delusion or something.
Yeah. People are really clout leeches, clout chasers, and they want to just get a picture. They don't care about how you're doing, what you're doing. They don't care about if you had a good day or bad day. Just give me a picture so I look like I know you.
So I look like I'm popping, right? So I mean that's a lot of the things I think people know that by now. The word's been out for long enough. It's been used in such a derogatory way for long enough now that people understand that aspect, but still they might not understand the aspect, well, how do I go about this naturally?
Yeah.
And I think even for me, recently I met Lil Baby. And so I'm like, all right. And it was cool. It was actually super fun because it was the first time in a really long time that I had probably been that I probably had some feelings or nervous or something inside that I was like, oh shit, I gotta actually think about what I'm gonna say.
You want to make a good impression,
right? Because I mean, those things do matter. So knowing, okay, so it's this artist I'm about to meet. All right, what am I wearing? Because the fit has to be on the mood, on the vibe with that. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's this artist. What am I putting in the package for them? Mm-hmm. What does the outside of the bag look like? Because is that bag gonna attract them in the first place? Mm-hmm. So I put everything in a Prada bag.
Yeah.
because that's what, like, it was Lil Baby's birthday. It was
So you're able to present
it was the
your
time.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but something, and that was honestly a fun moment for me because it took it back to those basics. So like, yo,
Yeah.
because there was a time where
Hustling,
I
yeah.
didn't get to just go around so easily and like just know all the artists already. You know, finally there was a time where there was a big artist that had that was here that I didn't have any connection to or know anyway. So I had to, from ground zero, confront like, all right, I got to figure out how to present myself in 2 seconds without being thirsty, but with still hustling.
Exactly. There's like a fine line.
There's
bro.
a very
It's an
fine,
art. It's an art, bro.
It's a tightrope.
Yeah.
It's a tightrope you gotta walk.
Exactly. Yeah.
To not be thirsty,
But not be scared.
but to not be scary,
Yeah.
right? And so you gotta find that perfect line that
Yeah.
you're walking on.
It's that confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And you gotta walk on that fucking tightrope, and you gotta have confidence, and you gotta almost be able to run on that shit. Because if you can't be on that tightrope and stick within that line, the second you go one way to the right or to the left, then you off the rope.
God, it's such a great analogy, bro. Because I know exactly what you mean, man.
Right.
I know it's
Right.
an art. Bro.
It's an art, and that's so. Me and Made in Tokyo were just talking about it. We were talking about the dance. He's on tour with Billie Eilish, even though Billie's wearing my stuff show after show, left and right. Even with how I'm communicating with her, it's still a dance.
Yeah.
And we were talking about. He's like, "Hey, remember, this is still a dance." As much, and she had just said like, "Yo, I hella fuck with him. I fuck with his shit." Da 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 da. You know, whoop de whoop, like just like praising me and pumping me up. At the same time, it's still a dance.
Yeah.
Yes, she wears the clothes. Yes, she likes the art, but it's still a dance. You still can't be overboard. You still can't be thirsty.
Can't get too comfortable.
Can't get too comfortable, right?
Yeah.
It's still a dance, and so there's every little moment. So finally, it was like getting back to the basics of dancing when I got to meet Lil Baby, and so that was honestly something that was real cool because it was like, all right, let me now I gotta get back to walking this tightrope.
Oh
That's
no!
crazy.
What is that? What is that? Huh?
Fire alarm.
How long does that go off for? Huh? Yeah, bro, stop.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
So everything is a dance. That was crazy. So I'm just gonna explain to people just for that
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
That was the first time I've ever had a fire alarm go off in the middle
During
of,
the interview.
during the interview.
Yeah,
right?
we're very professional over here. I want to let everybody know.
I wanna
Okay,
let
But
everybody
that is
know.
out of our control.
Fire alarm just went off.
Yeah.
That was the first time. That was honestly
Yes.
a little. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this
that
might be
was-
done with.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No, so making, it is a dance. No matter where you're at in that dance, it might be the end of the dance, or you might be at a good place, but you still can't mess up the rhythm.
Right.
Or if you're getting back to the basics, like I said, so I'm meeting a new artist for the first time, that tightrope
Yeah.
of not being thirsty.
Is
and
this
not-
a key component, like for somebody who's doing anything like really hustling, especially getting a brand off? Is this what you feel like really sets you apart? Is your ability to do that dance?
Oh, facts. Honestly,
Yeah.
I told people all the time because it was back when we were doing like I was at Fruition and Stussy jumping back and forth. There was another designer, Ant, and I was like, yo, I'm not the best designer from Vegas, but I'm the best at designing and marketing and doing business of it.
Yeah, total package.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's more so what it was for me, was like, yo, I know how to create and then make it and then execute it and then release it and then figuring out the marketing rollout from there. How do I present it? How do we place it on these people? How do we do the artist placement? Knowing how important seating was from the Durags. Then from there, okay, so we're doing this. The item sells out. So it's sold out. Then knowing the timing of when do you restock that item and sell it again? Because the second it sells out, you can't put it right back. You got to make people wait.
Yeah.
So it's a dance again.
There you go, man.
Right.
There you
And
go.
so like there's the timing. There's the timing.
It's business acumen,
So
bro.
right.
Yeah.
So the product sells out. You don't want to restock it right away. You don't want to wait too long. So again, like you're on that on some.
How do you
Now, the
gauge that? So
tightrope's
how
not
do you
as
how do you
skinny,
gauge
but-
that? Is it like intuition, or is it you go off your feeling or your gut or what?
Man, I mean, I guess to give people a couple keys. No,
drop a
it's a
couple
little
gems.
bit. It's a little bit of looking at like new audience, new demand. So let's say you seeded it on 5 people and now the product sells out. Almost waiting until you see that on another 5 people and saying like it hits another 5 streams of outlet and you see another 3,000, 5,000 new followers come in, and enough people have sent emails in to restock the item, and you see enough of the wave of like, okay, so you build it up, build it up, build it up. Okay, now we're gonna restock the item. And so, because if you don't, if it's not already like kind of sold out, then you're not gonna have such a like as much of an impact when you bring that item back in.
Right.
I mean, even when Durag Dev, like, so that was something I learned in the Rags days. So I had a business partner who he was good on that marketing timing. He taught me the timing, and a little of it is intuition in a way. But so it's looking at, okay, it was on these people is doing this. Okay, this is where the followers at. All right, now when I want to restock this item, is there any new demand? Is there any new following? Is there any new outreach I could do? Is there any new marketing? All right, if there is, and there's enough of each of those components, and there's enough emails, and there's enough people asking questions, okay, now we bring the item back. And maybe we bring it back with a pair of shorts to match, or a hoodie to match, or a set of it all, right?
There you go.
So a lot of business, probably what you're saying, a lot of business.
Yeah.
A lot of business, like, at it. But I mean, that's what, in the beginning, I was, I'm not gonna lie, I was naturally good at just marketing. So like the first day I went to marketing class, they give you the final exam. I ended up passing the final exam on the first day, not knowing it. Like, how did you know this class? I'm like, well, it's common sense. So luckily for me, like marketing was just common sense. I just kind of knew like what was like, and I hate to say it, but like whack or not in a way when it came down to marketing. What looked a little too
corny.
What looked too corny, and what was like not enough hustle. What was not enough like ambition in it. And so again, we're back on this. Not too much of this, not too much of that, but this balance in the middle.
Yeah.
And so just kind of keeping it there.
It sounds like you're able to make these decisions because you keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the culture and the music and fashion, and you know what's going on so much that you damn near know what's next. So what are you looking at? What pages you following? What TV shows you watching? Or is this just, are you just one of those guys that just has it?
I mean, that's something that's within.
Yeah. I see it, bro. I see it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Some people got it, some people don't. It's just like artists, you know. Some people got it, some people don't.
I mean, it's for me. It was honestly the test of like just my life in high school and growing up with naturally whatever. I noticed that whatever I was naturally into would end up becoming a trend in about like 6 months to a year. So eventually I figured out the timing of, okay, if I like this at this point, then about 6 months to a year, this is gonna be popular. So a lot of times, like whenever like I would be lost or not knowing what to create next, I would just get back to, okay, well, what do I wanna wear? All right, now I know what to make.
Yeah.
Because what do I like?
Exactly.
So, and then you take it back to what do I like? Now you're at a place of, okay, so if I like this, I'm doing it for the reason of like me loving this craft. So really it's like, what do I love? Because I'm doing what I love. Now I'm making what I love.
You're actually making clothes you'll actually wear.
Right. So, and then now I'm putting those, now I'm putting that out.
Yeah.
And
man, I'm so glad we got to sit down and talk, bro, because how you're like you see the future of fashion. I'm like the opposite. I'm like, yo, I'm the worst dressing motherfucker ever, bro. I wear the same shit all the time.
But I do that too, though. I mean, but that doesn't mean you're bad at dressing. I mean, that's something else. Because I get in outfits. I get in. That's called uniform.
Yeah.
That's just called uniform.
Okay.
Wearing the same thing over and over again. That's just called uniform. If you look at Steve Jobs, he's known for the black turtleneck.
Yeah.
You look at Barack Obama, he got his 2 suits that he wears all the time. You look at I mean, they switch up their uniform throughout different times. If you look at anime, that character's outfit only changes like on a new season or a new arc after they've grown up sometimes.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The only anime I've ever watched is the Avatar. It's Avatar, The Last Airbender.
That's a good one. I just put that one on again.
Super good.
That's a super good one.
Super good. I had to get I'll be honest, I had to get talked into watching it. I had to get persuaded into watching it.
The first time I watched that was on like Nickelodeon or something. I was young.
Yeah,
it's a good show still.
My ex-girlfriend, I think she persuaded me with a little bit of booty to watch that show. You know what I'm saying? But I watched it. I was blown away. I was like, yeah, this is actually good. I can get into this.
That show, I mean, honestly, if we're gonna talk about that show really gets into chakras.
It was deep.
The nature.
It was deep, yeah.
That show, I remember there was a time where that show didn't make sense to me until like 10 years later when I was focusing on opening up my chakras. And at the time I was like in the trend of hallucinogens and LSD and mushrooms and things like that.
Damn. Mushrooms,
So at the
hallucinogens.
so at the time I'm on another alarm check. So at the time I'm on this trend of hallucinogens, LSD, mushrooms, and so I'm on this wave working on opening up chakras, this and that. And eventually, this one time, I was able to meditate off because all a hallucinogen like LSD or shrooms are, is it's like a booster.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take those, like you can honestly you can open up all your chakras by meditating and through Reiki, through different practices, and you can get there, you know, yourself easily. Hallucinogens, LSD, shrooms, they just push you there easier, so that you can know what that feeling feels like.
Okay.
It's just a quick cheat code to get there faster.
Okay.
And so, anyways, this one time I was there, and at that point, like something just hit. Everything around me, physical, disappeared. Went into the black, and what was it? It was the avatar state. So I don't know if you remember, but when he finally was able to get rid of all the different attachments in life, i.e. opening up all his chakras and getting rid of everything, when he mastered the avatar state, i.e. opening up all your chakras and meeting the inner self that's you, when he was on that bridge and there was nothing around him, everything physical turned to space, and there was a bridge, and at the end of the bridge, all he saw was like a bigger godlike version of himself. So that all that was is that's your inner self, that's your inner God. And that's all that was a symbol for him. So that was a kid show that got crazy deep, and that I was tripping out at because I mean, it wasn't until years later that I understood what that kid show was talking about.
Yeah.
And it was just because I was like, oh my goodness, this is just like Avatar. And I realized, like, wait, I'm looking at that. At that moment, I was like, I want to be the best, perfect version of me that I can be.
Yeah.
And I want to be on top of all these things and whoop-de-whoop. And whoop-de. And
What's that mean? What's that? I feel like it's an inside joke.
It's that new CJ. It's that new CJ Whoop-de. So I said whoop-de-whoop, and so it just reminded me of my
Who's
head.
CJ? Is that an artist?
Yeah, it's an artist out New York or whatever.
Is he a Hispanic kid?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
seen
seen him.
I'll find a song, but yeah. So honestly, I was like, and I finally saw that like that perfect version of myself, that godlike version, that like where I was like looking at a bigger version of me in the sky, and it was trippy, and it just referenced that show, and it was just
That's a great show. That's a great show.
Right.
This is CJ right here.
Yeah.
Is he the one with the red mink on?
Oh yeah, in his other profile,
video?
yeah,
with the pit bull.
Yeah.
No, I seen him. I seen a video. Yeah. Yo, New York. What? So you spent some time in New York, I assume.
Yeah.
So like, let's talk about this real quick. The Vegas music scene culture. You know, you've been tapped into other cultures, cities. You know,
tours in other cities.
What's what do we need, bro? What do we need? What's going on, bro? He drops the mic. Plead the fifth. I feel you. Plead the fifth. I feel you.
I'm about to start rapping, bro. I'm about to start.
Come on, man. You trying to start a group?
We can do it, man. We can do it. I'm about to start.
The best
rapping,
dressed
man.
and the worst dressed.
Oh my god.
But what do we need though, man? For real. What are we missing?
BDWD. There we go. Man.
Cause I'll give you my opinion, but I want to hear
You
yours
go
first.
go ahead.
Well, it's just a lot of it is just our own sound, our own identity. You know, like you go to LA, you know LA music. You go to New
LA
York,
beat.
yeah, you just hear the accent. New York, boom, the
Hit
dances.
that woo, right.
Chicago, the
Right,
Bay. You know,
right.
but
Drill music.
we don't have that. We don't have that.
I know.
That's what I think is the biggest missing ingredient, that we haven't been able to formulate a sound that's unique to us. Keep talking while he hits his super lungs going action. But yeah, that's my main thing.
So I think right now is actually a perfect time for Vegas because of COVID, because the strip has closed down a lot. So people coming here have a lot more forced outside places they have to go, like Bloom.
Yo,
like
Bloom
like
is
a
the new
citrus.
is the new
Bingo.
fucking yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So where can you go and you get the hookah and the club environment
Yeah,
and
yeah.
feel, and and that, so that's a place I looked at. Okay, I could do an event here because it's it has that hot spot and it has the different ingredients to it. But what it is I mean, Vegas in the first place, like Vegas hasn't been founded as long as LA or
We're
New
so
York.
young.
We're a young
So
city.
young.
Vegas is a young city. We're just getting an NFL team. We're just gonna get an NBA team, and we don't
Yeah.
know how many years. But honestly, it's coming up, and so you already know. So there has not yet been like a Vegas sound because Vegas is eclectic. It's a melting pot city.
Right.
So Vegas is comprised of people from New York, people from Chicago, people from LA, people from all over the place, and they come here. Vegas is the #1 visited city in the world, but how do we not have culture at the same time?
Yeah.
We're the #1 visited city in the world.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Vegas. And when I go and travel and I say, "Oh, I'm from Vegas," they, "Oh my God, you're from Vegas."
Do you
And
live in a
it's-
hotel?
Do you live in a hotel? Do you gamble every day?
Yeah.
Do you like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you hit the casinos all the time. Like
Right.
you must be a master poker player, and you must live in a hotel and gamble every day and whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah.
And so, it's just, but whatever it is, like in that, there's just something that still has to be embraced, and I feel like, first of all, like there has to not be as much of a division if you really want me to get real. Because I'm not gonna lie, the only part of Vegas that reps a part of Vegas is the North Side.
Yeah. Northtown. I'm from the north.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. And it's
Yeah,
and
we got some West Side representatives too. East Side. I mean,
So-
we're
so
all
it's like
feel you. I hear
think
you.
like there just needs to like the city has to come together on something that's like on
Yeah.
yo, we're not repping size of anything. Like no one's trying to be the king of Vegas because that's a small pond still.
yeah. Big fish.
I don't care.
Maybe
to
you're
be
a captain of the JV team. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. So like I'm not, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. I've always looked global, and that's been another difference. Is like, so since coming out the gate, I understood the reverse psychology. Those stores in LA, that 424, that Maxfield, those Barney's like stores that are collecting high end streetwear brands that are very curated and specially curated and then putting those brands on the map. They didn't want my brand at the time. But I went to Japan and I went to China, I went to Korea, and then there we were different, we were foreign. So we were eccentric,
Right.
exotic.
Right.
So then I went and put the brand in those stores over there, and then the stores over here were like, "Oh, that brand is in those big stores over there. Okay, now we want it." So it was like understanding the reverse psychology of going somewhere else,
Right.
getting popping, and then coming back to your hometown and then
Right.
using that as leverage. So that's something else I don't feel like an artist from Vegas has really
Yeah.
done. And if they have, then I don't know what the execution process was exactly, because honestly,
Well, I think Dizzy Wright's really been the only one word to find some real success.
to go right, but I mean there's not much longevity in that, and not much durability in that either, exactly, because I mean that's still a small like level like of success in a way, to be honest. I mean, just like
Well, he's underground still.
he's
That's
still
the thing.
underground.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So for like, if our greatest thing is still underground, how great is that really? I mean,
Right.
if it's because in I guess what I'm really just speaking on is globalization.
Yeah. God
Every time I get
damn.
into the fucking group.
Good shit, bro. Yeah, well, let's finish. Let's wrap this little topic up, and we'll wrap it up because we're already at an hour.
Are we?
Yeah. Time flies,
Shit,
man. That's
right.
crazy, right?
Right.
Shut the
Yo,
fuck
what is
up,
this?
lady.
Right.
Damn. Ghetto ass Boulevard Mall, man.
Right. And then
Damn.
renovated it umpteen times.
God damn.
So globalization, so looking at things globally, going global. Only like Drake, Travis Scott, Migos, Lil Baby. There's only a handful of hip hop artists that are known globally.
Yeah, right.
And so, there's a level, between that. And there's different levels of things, and some artists might not want to be on that, you know, that crazy thing. But you know, there's just a couple different tax brackets in the level of like fame and artistry there, and so kind of recognizing that a lot of those artists that did go global, they did shows in a lot of global locations and cities, and they marketed globally. And so that's why they're known all over the world, is because that was their look. Yeah. They weren't looking at being the biggest in Toronto, the biggest in Vegas, the biggest in LA. They were looking at being the biggest fucking rapper in the world. Exactly. The biggest designer in the world, the biggest model in the world, the biggest videographer in the world, the biggest whatever in the world, the biggest basketball player in the world, the biggest chef in the world. Like, you're great.
And your brain starts moving like that.
Right. Yeah. And so they're thinking globally, and therefore they're acting globally.
Right.
Because they're thinking globally. Right, so they're focused globally. So they're thinking that way.
Right.
They're moving that way.
I feel you, man. I tell a lot of the artists I talk to, I'm just like, bro, don't get caught in this. Don't get caught up here. Don't do it. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't worry about being the hottest in the city. Don't do it. It's not it.
It's not it.
I mean, but it's. I know you have a lot of artist friends, and what do you tell them and how to big up their career? You know, like do you even talk about it with them, or do you?
I mean, I'm always like thinking of things, thinking of new marketing methods, thinking of new just rollout methods. I mean, just yesterday I was with my boy Only Jay that I've grown up with for a minute, and we were looking at a couple of music videos of his, and sat down with his manager and with a music content promoter, brand ambassador, whoop-de-whoop, like just talking about and formulating the rollout. And it was through talking with them, they were like, okay, well, now is kind of the time to be focused on the city because of Corona and COVID and everyone's still coming here, but a lot of places in the strip being closed. So now's the time where those people are going to go outside the city to look at forms of fun and entertainment. And so therefore our artists can be found a little more easier. And then you're going to have what's called like that organic reach. And that's those people that they came and they visited here and they found this new artist, and then they go back to their hometown. So like that will slowly keep happening, you know, over and over. But it's also that artist's job to be here and there and everywhere, and also traveling and going.
Well, doing what you do, because you know you're a creator. You're a creator, but we were talking about earlier, you know how to do the marketing, you know how to do, you have the business acumen. See, a lot of especially rappers, but a lot of artists, they don't have those extra things, you know, those extra attributes that will help propel their career forward.
I mean, this was the first time that like Jay was coming up with a plan and a rollout. He always went with the punches. And so there's a lot of artists here that they just drop music, they drop singles and just wait for when they catch fire and hit.
Link in bio.
Link in bio. And they're posting without thinking of what's the bigger plan. So even for me right now, you go on my Instagram, there's not a single photo. Because right now for me personally, I'm in the middle of like rebranding my image, going through how do I want to look like, what do I feel, you know what do I love, what I look like art-wise, what's my flow, getting back to the basics. So that's why I've been talking about getting back to the basics so much, because I'm in the middle myself of getting back to the basics. So always stepping back.
You do have a mystique, bro.
Huh?
You do have a mystique.
What do you mean by that?
Like from an outsider's perspective. Like I don't really know what you do. I don't know where. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
But that adds to somebody's value. You know, it's
right.
It's why you know Drake's is the biggest artist in the world. Right. Has done more numbers than Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
But comparing the Michael Jackson world, people would fucking freak out and pass out over Michael Jackson because of his unattainability. They didn't have social media. Because of that serious mystique that added so much value onto his life. Now Drake in the world today, we can go on his Instagram and see inside of his house. Yeah. Like the only thing we can see inside of Michael Jackson's house is in our imagination.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that mystique and the accessibility that we all have, that we all give up, you know, is so easy to give up on social media
and going online
and going online or whatever is lowers our value. That fucking bitch ass thing, yo. I'm gonna get pissed off. I'm gonna get pissed off, man. As soon as this ends, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up. This was good.
We can come back and do another one.
I gotta follow up. I gotta follow up with you. But do you have any hats I can get? You got a hat I could cop off you?
I like.
I should have asked you before you came.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a hat.
You're not
but,
selling out the trunk.
But I brought
You're not selling out. You gotta get back to the basics, man.
I brought something. I brought something just in case. I did. I did bring something just in case.
Okay, for sure. All right,
Yeah.
we'll tap in. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you pulling up, man.
I did. I should have brought it inside. That's my bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We'll make it happen. But I appreciate you pulling up.
No
This
problem.
was great to sit down and get to know you a little bit, man.
A little bit. And we
Yeah.
still kept it mystique today.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
Man. Damn, that's a sign. That's
This
a
thing,
sign.
yeah,
bro.
nah, this thing is
Hey,
this speaker's wrapping us up. But we're gonna get back in here. We're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
I'll get more and more keys and more brand insights, more insights to who I am and what's going on exactly.
Yeah.
I think right now, I just wanted to have everyone get everyone's attention to sticking to the basics, to not forget who they are in the process of working on their art, whatever that may be, in their career. So always remembering, what you love, why you're doing it, what you're creating, and making sure that you're in it enough where you know what the flow is and that you love it, but you're also out enough that you can check yourself and see what you're doing it for, and see what you're doing from that third perspective, that third person party perspective at the same time. So
Right.
you could just, and that's honestly just kind of my thing for today. And
Well said.
I think we can come back in here and we can get a little more on what's gonna be coming out, maybe what I'm doing, what I do exactly, some new ventures, some new plays, some new things. I will say right now I'm working on a rollout, a tour in Asia in collaboration with Lamborghini's new champagne.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So just
Sounds
finished,
extravagant.
just
Lamborghini and champagne in the same sentence. Goddamn.
So Lamborghini's doing a new champagne, and I'm working on the proposal for the club tour for the release of that, and so working on some products to try to collab with them on, and just planning a party, a club tour.
Sounds crazy.
It's just kind of simple, yeah. It's just business moves, different business moves.
Yeah, COVID's about to end, so
It is. It's already ending in other countries.
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was much love, respect to you. Congratulations on everything, bro.
Facts.
You
Thank
know, well, the city is lucky to have you. You're a special guy.
Thank you, bro.
For sure.
Thank
For sure,
you.
man.
I appreciate you having me, and we're gonna come back through here too.
For sure. Until next time, bro. Peace out.
Till next time.
Oh, that fucking thing,
Right.
man.